Well, good morning. It is the 25th of August 2021, and welcome to another daily devotional. As I was spending time with Jesus this morning, I was in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. I want to read to you these words from verse 6. Now, these things took place as examples for us, that we might not desire evil as they did. Do not be idolaters, as some of them were. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. We must not engage in sexual immorality, as some of them did, and 23,000 fell in a single day. We must not put Christ to the test, as some of them did, and were destroyed by serpents. Nor grumble, as some of them did, and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now these things happened to them as an example, but they were written down for our instruction, on whom the end of the ages has come. Paul is writing to the church in Corinth, and he's saying, listen, the things that happened to the people of Israel in the wilderness were written down. They were written down for our benefit so that we could learn from the lessons that they learned. They're written down as examples for us so that we could learn. And he lists four things. He says, the first thing he says, listen, don't be idolaters, as some of them were. And he says, and don't fall into sexual immorality, and don't test the Lord, and then don't grumble. And we might be reading this thinking, okay, well, we're not going to be idolaters. We're not going to set up little idols about the place. But you know what? Anything that we place above Jesus in our lives is an idol. And it says, don't engage in sexual immorality, as some of them did, and 23,000 were killed in one day. And you're thinking, well, gosh, Lord, that's a little harsh, but okay, we get it. You don't want us to engage in sexual immorality. You want us to have a level of purity within our lives. And then it says, and don't put Christ to the test, as some of them did and were killed by serpents. And you're like, well, okay, well, let's not put the Lord to the test. And then it says, and don't grumble, as some of them did, and were destroyed by the destroyer. Or as some versions say, as they were killed by the destroying angel. And suddenly we realize that grumbling is a lot more serious than we realize. We think it's okay to grumble and criticize here and there because, that's what you're supposed to do. We're Protestants, so we're supposed to protest about stuff. But we mustn't grumble as some of them did and were destroyed by the destroying angel. Now, why is grumbling such a big deal to God? Because grumbling robs us of faith. Grumbling robs us of hope. Grumbling makes us look at the negative rather than looking at the Lord. You see, the people of Israel, they just longed to fill their bellies with the cucumbers of Egypt, as it were. But they didn't see the miracles that were going on around them every single day, all the time. But for us, it is different. Because Paul says, we are those upon whom the end of the age has come. See, the end of the age started on the day of Pentecost. In the last days, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. And Peter says that day's today. And so we're living in the last days. The fulfillment of the ages has come upon us. Folks, we can't afford to grumble. We can't afford to grumble about church or people in church. We need to stay focused on the Lord and learn from the example of the people in the wilderness. Because the fulfillment of the ages is coming upon us too. Have a great day.